What's good, YouTube? What's poppin'? I tested how far GPT image generation and Seedance 2.0 can push character-driven visual workflows from design sheets to cinematic scenes to animation-ready assets. And so today's video, I wanted to see if I could take two characters, build their design systems, place them into different cinematic worlds, and prep them for AI video. So I'm gonna demonstrate y'all my different workflow that I went through, and I'm going to visually showcase what problems I tried to solve and how you can get results with these type of tools. So give me one moment. So the goal of this is to create Nova and Onyx as repeatable characters. Test consistency across outfits, posters, design sheets, thumbnails, and story scenes. See which images could become animation ready for Seedance 2.0. So we have different chapters. I'm gonna explain them first and then we're gonna go through them naturally. So first we're gonna have character look. Then chapter 2 is gonna be world transfer. Then chapter 3 is going to be visual system testing. Chapter 4 is going to be Seedance prep. And then I'm going to tell you what we learned at the end. Okay, so essentially I'm going to go to the main thread. So essentially this is it. So I wanted to create some type of poster with this prompt. It's essentially kind of mentioning the characters and like the composition and then the space. And so this was what we got for that. And so, one second, because this gets interesting. This gets interesting, y'all. So essentially, chapter 1. So essentially we put in this prompt. I kind of just described what I was looking for. And then this is what it gave us, the output. And so I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting, but let's see if you can create a character design sheet for it. So I was able to do it. I noticed that the arm right here is messed up, but it was able to get the characters pretty much how aesthetically. Then I said, let's do a spring look. It was able to go for spring looks, which is pretty nice. I really like how this looks, but I do notice it has a lot of like texture. Now you're gonna see a lot of examples later on. So I also noticed that it's able to do 2 images at one time. So that's good, but I don't know how I triggered it to do it at the same time, because sometimes when I try to make it do multiple images, it makes it as a storyboard type of thing. So essentially, so far so good. So essentially, like, what I'm going for is, okay, it's able to actually keep the consistency of these type of characters, you know, and is able to make edits. Obviously there's still flaws. For example, like the necklace here is just not right. And like, but it's making the edits that I want it to do. So essentially here, it's like, okay, I want you to take the characters out of this image and make them by themselves in the character design. So it was able to take the jacket off, which I told it to, and with the design. So that is pretty good. So far, I'm impressed with the technicality of direction. And so I wanted to test out how far it would go. So I wanted to just see how they would look into like some lingerie type of vibes. And so essentially this was pretty good. So then I said, can you put them in this lingerie formation outfits in this type of pose and direction, visual direction? It failed the first time, but it was able to do it the second time. Here's the result. So it is more capable than the original image generations, because it's just like, it wouldn't have never done this. And this is like really tough. Like this is crazy. So essentially I was like, okay, about to do that. So then I gave it another image. So I wanted to see if it could put our reference image and another image into one. So it kind of did it. And so then we transferred this over to Seedance.
This captures the essence of our collaboration. The park is a metaphor for the shared space we're creating.
The lighting.
All right, so then essentially we put that in, but it wasn't the best result. So I'm gonna show you continue the process. So we're basically creating, you know, I'm testing out the different capabilities that it can reach. So next is like kind of world building and taking the cosmic scenes. So you see how we're in this cosmic. Now let's like, I have a new reference image. Can you make a character design sheet of this and make it like kind of accurate? So boom, it was able to really get me the exact things I'm looking for in a sense. Not perfect by any means, but I feel like now this is like very usable in the sense of like, I mean, if it's not full context, but it's very good. So now I gave it a prompt and I'm like, all right, bet. So boom. So then it was able to put them from the initial image right here and this concept image right here into this image. The quality of this image is pretty good. But I do notice that there's a lot of different shiny artifacts. I don't know if it's essentially my like style that I'm like adding to them, or it is but this image is crazy tough. I need to download this ASAP. So then essentially we just go down, and I wanted to add some branding to it, but it made it more holographic-y, which it's like, I don't know if that's a result one would always want. So let me show you what the prompts came out to. So this was what we were having. We were having a stiff effect. Like it was too stiff. And so I had to rework it. And I think this is a better result right here. So Seedance is able to get the prompt understanding. Yeah, that floating rotation is not, but that was just a test though. So one more. All right, so essentially what's next is, you know, the visual system testing. So let me go back to the direction of this model. 1 second. All right, so it's able to do, you know, it got the back version of it pretty accurately. I pretty safe so myself. But I just don't like all these artifacts that's all over the image. It's like too much. And it can't go back from that. That's a real flaw. I mean, I kind of told it to, and it kind of did do it actually, but I do still see what I'm talking about. Able to make the thumbnails, different edits, and things like that. So essentially, I'm not going to talk too much after this. I'm going to just kind of go through and just mention a little bit from the next continue of the process. So I had an image reference of a back angle of them, and I wanted to see if it can create from the original idea, and it created these. But for some reason, it's just still so artifacty. But there's solutions to that. So, damn. So this was an example. So you see how, last thing I'm gonna say on this model is really good, but you see how these characters right here, it somehow didn't understand what I was talking about, but it did, to where it added, when I added this new character inside of there, into the framing of this original idea right here, it was able to, okay, I had to rebrand them. Boom. I like that. And it looks pretty on spot on, honestly. It does add a little bit of a difference, but in terms of like look, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty confident with that now. But it's still gonna change it, alter it a little bit. All right, so now we're going to, so it made this version of it. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but I want them to be kind of holographic-ish. And it was able to do it. This image is very artifacty, but I feel like it is pretty cool just by itself. So it made some different versions. Try to make some different edits in there. Design sheet. So essentially, I'm just going to showcase now the Seedance part of this. And essentially, here's that prompt for when they were at the park. I'm going to showcase one that was the actual image. So I'm still working with the actual images because sometimes it's too stiff or it's too resembling to the original image. But here's the one I added with the original image. Not the best one, but this is just the first shot, so I feel like it has potential for real. But it added an extra thing. But this is without the prompt. And this is impressive to me.
So this is the core of the scene. You know which to get the Simon Sangs that benag Wisserim Movli.
But I don't know why it made them so like kind of too
What do you
much,
think?
but this is just a good concept. Here's another one. So this is a new one. I haven't seen this one. This is vertically.
Thomas for other director, here so you why creative Mutham Raptors. There's this whole long views Germany Thomas didn't see had to painting. No more and split love, Nova Onyx. Hope this shall be ever fitting.
This is good though. I've messed with this. It's just the voice is off for some reason. But yeah, man.
So
This
part
stuff is
here,
crazy. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want more, learn, go to the website, link in the bio, you know, and basically what we learned here, for the best results, you want to prompt lock character, identity, outfit, environment, type
this
of vibe.
part here,
The weaknesses and logos can be kind of unstable, hands and things. Big insights is AI works better with directed like production team, not directed like a magic button, okay?
so
And
this
so-
part here,
When you build a repeatable workflow, character sheets, cinematic art, key thumbnails, and animation prompts, you're gonna avoid being static. You're gonna have better prompt
so
logic
this part here,
and like things like that. So this is a pretty simple system that I'm working with. I do have other systems that incorporate to get to this type of level, but like I'm able to now produce a quality to where it's more cohesive and I'm getting more directed understanding through different parts. So yeah, man, yeah, this is some nice stuff out here.